Hello. 150 seconds here. Hello, hello, hello. I think it should be coming through pretty cleanly. Hello. There we go. We should be getting through pretty cleanly now. EVC News, welcome in. Skipped a frame there, but I think we're alright. I think we're doing okay. I think I needed that reset on my. Sorry about that. I think I needed that reset on my computer. There we go. Hopefully we're coming through pretty clean on the monitors here as well. Yeah, so let's get started. We are here, and we are going to start off with a note from Zelensky today. I met with Okay, so his name is Marcel. Something before that. Today, the governments of Ukraine and Romania held their first ever joint meeting in Kyiv, marking an important new step towards strategic partnership. We discussed further defense cooperation to better protect Ukraine south, particularly What do you say that? Well, how you put it like that? That was what was that? Danube ports, yeah, Danube ports, and then the Danube River. So you had got the Danube ports, right? As well as to ways to broaden new food exports routes. New food export routes. I also thank Romania for its assistance in evacuation Ukrainian from Israel. So that's also a thing we got for today. I think we'll start off with some Zelensky talks here, as he's come out with multiple. We didn't get them up here yesterday, so I'm gonna give it to you that now. We'll start off with that as we get started here.
Бажаю здоров'я, шановні українці і українки. Звіт за цей день, насичений день. Ставка, ключові воєнні та зовнішньополітичні питання. Наради з керівником ГУР тривало щодо ключових ризиків. Відповідаємо на кожен ризик, на кожну загрозу. Потужно відповідаємо. Міністр фінансів Марченко поінформував про зустрічі та перемовини з керівниками міжнародних фінансових інституцій. Нещодавно відбулись щорічні збори МВФ та Світового банку. Важлива увага до України і важливий висновок, який є у багатьох партнерів, у різних лідерів та інституцій. Глобальна стабільність, глобальна безпека, розвиток світової економіки прямо пов'язані із тим, що російська агресія проти України повинна завершитись справедливо, відновленням міжнародного порядку, повною силою міжнародного права. Сьогодні є необхідне рішення Верховної Ради України, необхідне для початку переговорів з Євросоюзом. Закон про політично значущих осіб, politically exposed persons, прийнято. Очікую текст закону на підпис. Завдання наше незмінне – цього року бути готовими відкрити переговори щодо членства України в ЄС. Українську частину роботи для цього виконуємо і виконаємо. Політичне рішення про початок перемовин очікуємо від лідерів країн Євросоюзу. Провів підсумкову нараду щодо роботи Конгресу місцевих та регіональних влад України в цьому році. Це важливий і результативний майданчик прямої комунікації з громадами та вирішення нагальних питань, які є в регіонах, взаємодії місцевої влади з усіма структурами центральної влади, з урядом, також Верховною Радою. Я вдячний усім, хто активно працює в рамках Конгресу. Зокрема, і щодо того, що стосується відновлення та підготовки до зими. Але, звичайно, роботу Конгресу варто розширити і на більш спектр питань і щодо соціальної сфери, і щодо зв'язку. і щодо створення робочих місць, і щодо багатьох інших речей, які важливі людям по всій країні. І фронт, воїни, наші бригади. 54-та окрема механізована бригада, 68-та окрема єгерська бригада, 25-та окрема повітряно-десантна бригада, це Лиманський напрямок і Солидарський напрямок, 92-га окрема штурмова бригада та 93-я окрема механізована бригада Холодний Яр. Дякую вам, воїни. Дякую усім, хто воює і працює заради України. Дякую усім, хто допомагає. І сьогодні особлива вдячність Сполученим Штатам. Наші домовленості з президентом Байденом виконуються. Виконуються дуже влучно. Атакамси себе показали. Слава Україні!
Okay, so I didn't notice that there still is some buffering. So at this point, I'm being honest with you guys. It can't be me. Okay? It can't be me. I'm not the one having these buffer problems. I'm really not. I think what it is fucking Twitter. Because you know, Twitter is sold to someone who's older than fucking dust, who doesn't know anything about technology. He keeps bragging about he knows everything about technology. He doesn't know shit. So, in reality, yeah, I blame Twitter. So I think we're gonna go back to an older system I had before, where I just drag it over here. It tends to work a little bit better if I just drag the things I want to show over, and not switch the screens out, because for some reason that works a lot better. It's you. It's me, David.
Бажаю.
So, for some reason, I'm gonna have to do this from now on. But whatever, we'll figure it out. Here you have it. This is the second speech. He came out with a lot of speeches yesterday, so I want to give you this sort of second one as well. And then as soon as we're done with that, we're gonna move on. A lot of good stuff today. Don't worry, we got a good show.
Бажаю здоров'я, шановні українці, українки. Провів засідання ставки, важливі доповіді командувачів. Дякую кожному воїну, кожній нашій бригаді, які міцно тримають позиції. Авдіївка, Бахмутський напрямок, Мар'їнка, Шахтарський напрямок, і Куп'янськ, і Запорізький напрямок. Молодці, хлопці, дякую тим, хто потужно знищує логістику та бази окупантів на нашій землі. Є результати. Я дякую деяким нашим партнерам. Ефективна зброя, як ми і домовлялись. Маємо результати в нашому просуванні вперед, результат штурмових дій наших хлопців. Це і ключові новини нашої держави. Щодня, щотижня Україна саме потребує таких результатів. Щодня, щотижня треба зберігати ініціативу. Я дякую всім, хто саме так діє. Кожен пройдений кілометр, кожна подолана лінія оборони окупанта. Все це має значення. Постійність наших результатів – це постійність підтримки України світом. Була доповідь на ставці щодо захисту берегів Чорного моря, Дунайського регіону, захист людей, захист портів, захист нашого експорту. Вдячний усім, хто працює заради цього. Окремо обговорили міжнародну політику, наявні зміни. Урядовці доповідали, розвідка також. Викликів багато, але якими б не були загрози, наша відповідь – це наша сила, наша єдність – захищати Україну та державні інтереси, бути в обороні або з обороною, допомагати, дбати про тих, хто поруч, знайти своє місце у спільній роботі народу – це важливо. Обов'язково переможемо. Слава Україні! Бажаю здоров'я.
All right, there you have it. That's the speeches from Zelensky. We're not going to hear from him before towards the end of the show, but before the end of whatever. A blurred visualization of the disruption of Russian distribution, of Russian military elements along the front. Do you notice the pattern? So we've got this picture that came up here, and I want to show it to you. So apparently they have a concentration of troops here along the Kharkiv border. Now, you notice up here as well, they have maintained a home guard, some kind of guard up here in the north, like is in Belarus. And as you can see, the biggest concentration of forces right now is in the areas around here, of course, and down here. Now, there are some interesting parts about this, because today, well, some hours ago, not exactly today, but throughout today, it was reported that there may have been landings near a city called Poima, I think it was. And that's located somewhere in between here. So obviously, Ukraine knew where to strike because they have seen where the approximate mass of Russian soldiers were, and they knew this area here was unprepared and undefended. Now, we'll get to that a little bit later, I think, actually very soon. But first, we're going to talk about something that we have all been waiting for, we've all wanted to see. Atacms in Ukraine. I learned my lessons yesterday, and it is in fact the HIMARS firing off. I thought it doesn't matter. That's a whole thing right there. Here you have it. This is Atacms coming in to Ukraine.
Hello.
Sorry, I can't play the music. Copyright, but all that. But there you have it. Well, that's obviously HIMARS right there. Learned my lesson. And they're carrying, as far as we understand, 165 kilometer range cluster ammunition Atacms missile. They are a modified version of the bigger ones, which, or I don't know if they're bigger, but the other ones, you know, you've heard to start with was 300 kilometers, but apparently the U.S. had modified, the U.S. had modified these versions right here to apparently, these are reported by pretty trustable sources, to only go 165 out of fears of Ukraine attacking Russia on its home territory with these missiles. Now, you might think to yourself, they did, David, they did, and don't worry, we'll get to that. But you might think to yourself, well, you know, can't they just, you know, roll the HIMARS up to the border and shoot it over? And yes, in fact, they could. But I think what they're talking about is the reach for Moscow. Now, I think the Russians, sorry, the U.S. was afraid, which, you know, is apparently nowadays the United States of fucking America, the most powerful country ever, could literally obliterate the Russians with a flicker of its fucking finger. It hasn't even spent one military unit, not a single soldier, and is already fucking up the Russians. Apparently that country, and if you didn't hear me talk about it, you know, just a second ago here, apparently that country is afraid that Ukraine will strike the Russians in Moscow. Which is stupid, because if anything, what they would have used the 300-kilometer missiles to do was to strike targets not only within Crimea, but perhaps even strike targets like vessels. It would strategically, yeah, look at the planes, yeah, but it would strategically be smart. You know why? Because then Russia could literally have the Ukrainians take out the Russian Navy, at least the Russian Black Sea Fleet, which is already diminished to a fucking, you know, very weak state. And the U.S. could have done that without even having troops on the ground. Made their own navy 100 times better, because now they don't have to worry about the Russians. I mean, I'm just saying, it would have been a smart investment to give them the 300 kilometers and not worry about a single rocket landing in Moscow. Which, by the way, I don't think the Ukrainians would have wanted to even use cluster munitions. You know, it's big bombs, just 700, 900 bombs within that cluster munition, and it fired that at Moscow. The Ukrainians aren't like that. They don't target civilians like that. They target strategic military target or infrastructure targets like power grids. And if you think about that, you know, using 900 bombs like a cluster munition to destroy a power grid or infrastructure, it's gonna hurt. So that was kind of our hope, but apparently, the United States of fucking America, you know, biggest powerful country in the world, which, by the way, is still a true statement. People say, oh, they're not powerful anymore. They fucking are. Don't get it wrong. The United States is still powerful as shit. You know, why are they so chicken out nowadays? They really are. Anyways, regardless, this is the second video here, and these are actually videos of the Atacms in action here, and you can see them go up there. And that sort of special kind of way of going up there, but you can hear the sound as well. Oh, holy shit! I mean, Jesus Christ! It's just it's you know, it's just amazing. Now, as far as we know, and this is as far as we know, they were only given 20 of these, which is a very small number. However, the Ukrainians have actually just proved, and this was coming out from yesterday, that they're very much capable of doing that, of dealing with, you know, only that amount. Now, as far as we know, the Ukrainians have destroyed yesterday alone. Some sources were saying 6 helicopters. Now, the last 2, be right back. All right, you coming back? The last 2 may have just been damaged, but sources were saying 8. Now, in a week as well, the last few weeks right here, or a week alone here, the Ukrainians have destroyed 4 Su-25s, or at least air combats. 6 helicopters were destroyed yesterday, and a strike at an airfield in Kiryat. I think I had it on my secondary document. Listen, I have it on another document. We'll get to it. Don't worry. I had it from yesterday's. But it was really, I mean, holy shit, you know, it was a spectacle to see. And the Ukrainians are just fucking them up nowadays, you know. They really just are. They're giving them the business. That's what I like to say. Here's more videos. Now, this has claimed to be HIMARS. The pattern looks very much the same in a missile, which you welcome in. These are the goddess of the battlefield right here. HIMARS and Atacms. You got that special kind of flight pattern where it goes like that. Woo. Woo. Yeah, that's pretty. I mean, that, you know, and every single missile reportedly has been used to destroy very strategic targets. Now, we are apparently aware of some targets that has been destroyed, and we'll get to that in a second. Ukrainian Marines have managed to capture the village of Poima, which was mentioned earlier, on the left bank of the Dnipro, and they have reached the northern outskirts of Peshansvika. The Sea War, which is Russian war correspondent, are writing about this with concern. So yeah. So a little bit more in depth here. Raybar and RA Lee 85 indicate that elements from Ukraine 35th and 36th Marine Brigade has captured the town of Poima and are fighting for Pishkanivka, on the left bank of the Dnipro. Anyways, to give you the visualization of how this looks like, this is the city that they're fighting for. Now, they're saying they've actually reached this. Now, that's the Dnipro River, and they've actually crossed that right there. And to Nivka, which I can show it on a map just to make it a little bit more understandable, to give you an understanding of where we're talking right now. So, okay. So here we have the map, right? This is Kherson right here. We all know that. That's Kherson, right? And the Ukrainians, not only has it been reported that this, I think it might have been this one right here or that one right there. One of these ones right here has been destroyed. A bridge has been destroyed. I'm not sure if it was actually one of these. We'll get to that in a second. But as you can see, the Marine brigades have crossed the river right here, supposedly on boats or by bridge. I mean, we've seen assault groups on boats before, which I would suggest is the smartest point. Crossed it. Now they're here right now. They're here right now, kind of like in this kind of way right now, kind of like this right here, approximately, right? And they're trying to take this one right here, but this means that this would correlate with how we see the maps, because apparently the Ukrainians have seen weak spots in areas like areas in Kherson. And it's particularly in that area in where they've launched that assault. There's a very light amount of soldiers. There's a big amount of soldiers on the other side, but there's a slight decreasement of numbers right here, and there's less numbers up here, which means there has been some talks about a possible different brigade assault on sea-based elements across the Dnipro right there. So, to point out here, guys, we have seen the start of the supposed capturing of Kherson. Now, what we usually see when these things happen, I think it was Ocean or somebody who mentioned that before, it's called the beach landing. You sort of scout it out, right? But you have this beachhead landing where you land in an area where you would then take out forces within that area. Now you would take out forces within that area, creating a bulk in where the area they're in is safe. To be able to launch more equipment safely, not only safely, but be able to get other people across that can help your infrastructure and, you know, get more soldiers across. Now, of course, the Marine brigades, they're not special forces, but they are, you know, very, very equipped. So we're talking about, you know, if conscripts or, you know, sort of the newer troops, be able to put those across. You wouldn't put those across, you know, in an immediate assault. Now, I know that we did that in D-Day, but when you have access to professional soldiers, you usually use those for operations like this. Now, as you can see, they're talking about, this hasn't really been shown yet. It said that they were making a push here. Now, they're saying they're here. I can't claim exactly that they're there. Sources have claimed many different sources, but that would mean that the Ukrainians have made a leap from here to here, which is 4 kilometers at a assault from a amphibious landing, and is now trying to take the city from, you know, this 2-kilometer array right there. So their plans right there is to take this whole sort of inbounding right there, or possibly push on, right, this whole area right here. So they're talking about this possibility that they're taking this whole area. It's still a little unconfirmed, but of course, I'm looking into it to be able to verify. And Deep State may have an update tomorrow, but supposedly they have done it. And if they have, that's impressive. So we're monitoring that very closely. And I am more than staggered. I'm more than staggered about it. But you can also see a little thing over here, as well as you can see, this is where they are, right? And this is the area they've been taken. You can look at that over there as well. this one also suggests that there has been landings from across the bridge right there. There's a hole in that bridge, so we believe that bridge might right there is blown, and it's another amphibious assault landing. I'm not sure if that's true or not. Could be a way to split up the enemy, trying to distract the enemy. It's important to also note that the troops in Kherson is the least battle hardened. Well, they're not the least battle hardened, but they are in some ways least battle hardened because they're not the ones that they're at the front lines, right? And usually, what you do, especially if you're an army that's losing, right? You'd place the inexperienced troops in an area like Kherson, and take these experienced troops to try and push, in the areas where it's active. That's only logical to do. So it's possible that the areas in Kherson is very much a mixture and maybe like a 90% new troops or the other way around. I mean, they could also be extremely under strength because maybe Putin realized that they didn't need so much war material in that area, so they've moved all that war material that they needed in that area. Exactly. Slava Ukraine right here, guys. Let's get it in chat. Let's get some Slava Ukraine if you want to. But yeah, it's possible that they've moved. Number 5. All right. Hey, welcome in 86. Welcome in, Vaughn. I didn't know if I say hello to you. Welcome everyone. But yeah, it's possible that war material in that area simply, is under strength. It's also possible that the soldiers in that area is under strength and lacking equipment, because you wouldn't put if you're already lacking equipment, you don't put equipment in an area that isn't in an active fight. But now they are. So that means that now, and I mentioned this before. I said, you know what I said? I have said this before. I've literally said this before. I said, it's very likely that there could be... Oh, there we go. Oh, slave Ukraine. Yeah, okay. Good. Delete that, yeah. It's very likely that... I'd said that before. I said it's very likely to see amphibious assaults. Now, I mentioned Crimea. I was right about that. There was an amphibious assault on Crimea. And then there was, in fact, though, an amphibious assault on Kherson, which I also said. I said there possibly could be an amphibious assault on Kherson. You can go back and find it. And it's happening. It's happening. It's been happening for quite a while. Impressive, I'd say, is I think the right word is impressive. Now, the reason why I've actually said that is because I've noticed a increasing amount of boats and amphibious assault training videos, or at least the soldiers of the Ukraine on these amphibious assault because these boats and all that. You've seen those videos. You guys saw the videos when they took that oil rig. You saw the video when they took the oil rig, right? And that was an impressive video when they were firing at a Su-25 or Su-30 something from their boats with a fucking 50 cal, just fucking from their boats, right? So it's very likely that what we're seeing right now is the start of this large-scale amphibious assaults that has been going on. And I'm very excited about it, and we're going to continue to watch it. It's a very exciting time for Ukraine, and it's a very exciting time because they've managed to do it, and they're becoming so good at it, which I'm very happy about. There's regions in Ukraine that are now turning on. Sumy, Chechnya, Mykolaiv, Kherson, and Donetsk region have just turned... Well, not just. I think some of the areas weren't before. I didn't check. There's a doomsday plane just left France there. Took off from... What's that? Cyprus? No, that's Cyprus. What's that? I don't remember the name of that. Something. Putin holds a pest... Okay, by the way. Of course, we were supposed to see a... of course, we were going to see a response from Putin regarding these Atacms missiles. And here's his response. He went to a press conference in China, or at least held a press conference in China, And he was talking to Xi Jinping, and he was also with his nuclear brief. A lot of people were freaking out. The biggest news network in Denmark made a story about how the fact that he had his nuclear brief with him, and people were freaking out about it. I don't think it's that serious. He's always bringing his nuclear brief. It's just the funny thing is we don't actually ever see the nuclear brief. So I believe that Putin was a little smarty boy, took his nuclear brief with him, right? Deliberately chose to have his soldiers walk behind him, showcasing the nuclear brief. I think it was a smooth move from Putin, trying to say, you see my nuclear brief? You see it? I have it, you know? Other than that, we don't usually see it. So I think that's what he did, very likely. You know, Putin is a devious snake, you know? But anyways, let's go over some topics about what he talked about. So Putin holds a press conference following Russia-Chinese negotiation. The supply of Atacms will only prolong Ukraine's agony. This is statements from him, by the way, not from me. Just want to point that out. The Atacms missiles will not fundamentally change the situation on the contact line. That's false. We will be able to repel Atacms missiles attack. No, you won't. The reason why they won't is that unless you take it out in the initial stages before it separates and splits into a million bombs, if you don't separate, because apparently they weren't able to intercept it when it landed on that airfield. The supply of Atacms to Ukraine is another mistake by the United States. Increasing U.S. involvement in the Ukraine conflict is a large-scale error. Vladimir Putin on the new action of the armed forces of Ukraine in the Kherson direction. There are no results, but there are losses. The situation is similar to what happened in other directions. Yeah, right. Well, at least the word can reset easy, knowing that Atacms missile won't change much. No casualties, all airfields and helicopters were saved. Brigades are not destroyed. So he also stated that no, there was no casualties, there was no helicopters. There was no helicopters that was destroyed. There was absolutely no helicopters that was destroyed in any area. And absolutely no helicopters were destroyed in any area, and it's absolutely false that you weren't able to see a mass scale of these, helicopters completely destroyed, smoking on the airfield. That didn't happen. I kind of regret I didn't copy paste this and get the video, but it doesn't matter. You completely can't see a smoldering wreckage of helicopters everywhere on the airfield and where they actually took the picture from satellite images. No, that didn't happen. Of course, guys, remember, Putin is always right? Yeah. Now, we got you, Putin. We got you. We know what you're doing. Nothing to see here, yeah. Guys, there's nothing to see. Just move on. Go on. Move on. Come on. Enough to see. Okay, well, there has been a development, quite a serious one. In some cases, when you think about it, it's somewhat annoying. Putin has ordered fighter jets armed with hypersonic missiles to begin round-the-clock patrols over the Black Sea. Now, we're not aware if his intentions with these hypersonic missiles, what they are, but I've got a video here of him talking about it. So give me a second here. Listen to this right here. So to just move two groups in the Mediterranean Sea.
Хочу сказать, это не угроза, то, что я сейчас скажу.
It's not a threat I'm going to say now. It's kind of a threat. It's not a threat, it's a kind of a threat.
и о чем вас проинформирую. Но по моему поручению военно-воздушные силы, военно-космические силы России начинают
Are
на
starting
постоянной
an
основе
ongoing basis
патрулирование
patrols
в нейтральной
in the
зоне
neutral zone,
воздушного
the
пространства над
airspace in the
Черным
Black
морем.
Sea,
И
and our
наши самолеты
planes,
МиГ-31
MiG-31,
вооружены
armed with
комплексами кинжал.
Ninch-out missiles, which is hypersonic missiles.
Они, как известно, имеют дальность
They're known to have a range
свыше
of
1000 километров
over 1,000 kilometers at Mach 9 speed. Yeah.
со скоростью 9 махов.
That's what he's showed right there. I don't know what he's talking about right here. What he's saying is, was like at a T. Yeah, okay. I mean, yeah, they could be carried on T-22. I don't know if, yeah, I mean, he said MiG-31. Yeah, T-22. I think T-60, 160. T-160 or the Tu-160 also can carry them. I'm not sure. I mean, he said MiG-31, so I assume that's what they're going to be armed on. However, take what Putin says with a grain of salt. There's nothing to verify it. I mean, we haven't seen images of it yet, so we can't really know. I mean, all as far as I know right now is he's going to arm it on MiG-31s. That's all I know. Now, they showed this image here in the last picture right here saying that Putin could, in fact, target Israel, which is a stupid picture. I don't know why they said, oh yeah, he's going to target, so he's going to shoot a supersonic missile over Turkey, NATO member, and then down towards Israel. Right, that's going to happen. Right. Putin getting into details, I know, it's amazing. I mean, I've never imagined it before. But factor is, guys, no matter what he's going to use those supersonic missiles for, if he's going to target Ukrainian ports, if he's going to target Ukraine itself, if he's going to target ships going into Ukraine, there has been an increase in Ukrainian ships. Sorry, well, not Ukrainian ship, but there has been an increase in the amount of quarters, the amount of ships, the amount of hangar ships actually moving in to Ukraine to pick up grain. Now, we're unaware if Putin's intentions are to completely destroy these ships by air. We don't know if that's his intentions. However, I think it's an interesting development, certainly, for him to put supersonic missiles on a MiG-31 and then fly it in a neutral zone. Again, I'll repeat it here. He's going to fly it in the neutral zone, which is, a zone where you're not supposed to really have anything foreign military flying unless, of course, of course you can fly it there, but you're not supposed to be patrolling it because you don't own it. There's no reason for you to be patrolling ships. Sorry, to be patrolling airplanes or be patrolling it all in a neutral zone where you don't really own it. So you haven't really gotten any ideas of why. But is it an escalation? I don't know. I can't really tell you right now. We'll have to see what happens. There has been talks, and this is coming from pretty trustable sources here, that there may be an increase in Ukrainian air raid. At least, Nicholas, welcome in. There's going to be an increase, and that's as far as I know right now, of the Ukrainian air raid sirens that's going off. These bad boys right here. The reason why I'm saying that is because not only has Putin warned about it, or he's not directly warned about it, but intel is telling us that. And of course, I think retaliatory attacks. Putin is very famous for his so-called retaliatory attacks. He's just lost about 8 helicopters, 6 in total, right? 6 totally damaged, gone. 8 in total. 2 of them might be damaged. At least that's the reports I know of. And I think it was special equipment, airfield, and all that bullshit. So a lot of things. So yeah. He's not happy right now. He's certainly not happy. So, will there be a retaliatory attack against Ukraine? Very likely. That's why we're watching it right now, monitoring. But I can't really say if on what scale it's gonna be. Is it gonna be these supersonic missiles? He doesn't have a lot of them, and the cost of developing these is quite high. So I'm not sure if he's gonna just waste them off. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Interesting, The Russians in mass bringing Soviet Gvizhdika self-propelled guns to the temporarily occupied Yevprotiria. The movement of enemy's equipment was recorded by Atesh partitions. It's noted that due to the serious loss of the Russian Federation, the occupiers are forced to resort to the use of outdated equipment. There's been a video that's been circulating around, and I've been watching it a lot. It's this video right here with these tanks. Now, I wonder if any of you actually know what these tanks are. I thought it was some kind of T-55 or something like that, some kind of variant from like 1940. It looks a little bit like, I reckon it's some kind of tank from 1960, 1950. It's got, it looks very much mechanical. Of course, they are new. I mean, yeah, looking at it, it doesn't look, they don't look new, and I've been speculating a lot what they are. Because to me, it looks like they put one of those standard vehicles, one of the BMPs or something like that, and they put a turret on top of it. And that's what it looks like to me. I've never seen that tank ever before. I've never, ever, ever seen that tank before. Gold Evening, yeah. S21. Looks like S21. I've never heard about an S21. Is that a tank? Well, obviously it is. You're probably right about that. Oh, yeah, you are. See, AVC, that's why we got you. That's why we got you. You're totally right. Hey, you're totally right. It's totally one of these. You're totally right. It's totally one of these. It is literally okay. Well, okay, so I read it in my Well, I did read it, didn't I? I said the Gvzdika self-propelled guns. So it's called the Gvzdika or whatever. All right. Well, AVC, you goddamn. You say you're not an expert, but I'm beginning to doubt it. I didn't know. I mean, I wanted to search it up. I've been trying to search it up, but I couldn't. I searched up smooth edge, but it's 2S. Oh, whatever it is, it's a 2S. It's called the Gvzdika self-propelled gun. It's an artillery piece, right, or some kind of artillery piece. Only happenings tonight, pretty much, Freddy. Pretty much. But I want to make an announcement now that we got some people here. I don't know how many of you are regular. I will no longer be covering Israel. It has nothing to do with the recent attacks. I'm aware who conducted the recent attacks. And I'll be honest with you guys. I'll give you the news right now. The UN, the US, and everybody has conducted their searches. They verified that it was Palestinian jihads or Hamas that conducted the airstrike at the hospital that killed about 500 to 900. I'm not aware about that. So that's all I got from there. I'm not saying that was Israel. I'm just saying I'm not going to be covering that anymore. I'm a Ukrainian channel here, guys. So sorry if you're going to, just saying. So, yeah. So, as mentioned before, Putin was spotted with his nuclear brief. We mentioned that before as well, I think, as well. It's got to be some kind of show of force, some kind of, you guys know I've got this briefcase right here with my nuclear weapons on it, right? You know that? And I can fire whenever I want. You know that? I can go off and I can fire it. And then some interesting developments actually took place just as I was about to go live here. Well, not just about to go live, but Russia moves closer to ditching landmark nuclear treaty. So Russia is actually moving closer right now to ditching this landmark nuclear treaty. I believe that what they're talking about is the nuclear treaty about the amount they can have, and the inspections, and the testing of nuclear weapons over ground. I think right now they're allowed to test nuclear weapons underground, but apparently what they want to do is test them overground, which means we could be going back to some kind of 1950 bullshit right here, where we're gonna watch nuclear explosions happening live from our bedrooms, right? All of a sudden, you're gonna wake up this morning and you feel like the whole ground's shaking. Don't worry, it's just Russia testing off some goddamn nukes. Or it's the amount they can have. I'm not sure. I think it's kind of all in between. The landmark decision was or it's their nuclear doctrine. I'm not completely aware. I mean, I'll get more detail on it. Don't worry. But as well as I know, that's where we're heading right now. But yeah. The SBU attacked a large military camp near the airport in Kursk, Russia, region of Russia. Near the military airfield Kalino, there were up to 3,000 Russian military personnel and 80 units of military equipment. The strikes were powerful, at least 80 hits by SBU drones on the camps, according to some media sources. So, sources in SBU. So there was a large-scale attack from the SBU near the military airfield Kalino in the Kerch region. That's in Russia. Kalino. Yeah, okay. And you might notice something very similar about this airfield. I showed a picture of it earlier. Now, this attack took place very successfully. It's the same one as you've got down here. Right? No, it's not. It's a different one. Is it? No, I thought it was... Okay, I thought it was the same one. So, not the same one. The Ukrainians have attacked 2 airfields within 2 days. They've attacked 2 airfields, destroyed a countless amount of Russian equipment that has cost the Russians probably close to $1 billion. Probably more. I'm not even kidding you. Probably way over in the 5 billion. We are probably in a very expensive zone for the Russians. The reason why I'm saying this is because how much do you think 8 helicopters, 4 Su-25s, which, by the way, the Ukrainians have shot down 4 Su-25s in the past week. How much do you think that about 200 tanks, actually more than that, maybe 300. We're probably closing in on like 300 tanks throughout the week here, or last week, sorry. So we're probably closing throughout these last weeks right here a mere number of about 10 billion, much more probably, I don't know. But it's in the billions, many billions, and it's a lot of Russian equipment from these failed Russian advances. These Russians, they're doing this tactic that's called the meat grinder. I like to call it the meat grinder. They throw unexperienced troops at the front line. These troops work as the meat grinder in the way that they work literally of taking the bullets. They get ripped to shreds, right? And they lay there, and they just send these troops, and behind them is the actual troops, the ones that have military training in some way, and they run ahead, right? And these unexperienced troops, they're running ahead. They get shot down. Young men, many of them, I'd imagine 17, 18. There's been stories of conscriptions all the way down to 16. It's already starting. We were talking about this some months ago where I said that there could soon be conscriptions of 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, and that's happening. Many of these young boys, very young, I think it's quite sad. I don't think they deserve that. I don't think anybody deserves a fate where you're just running straight ahead. I think many Ukrainians standing in their trenches or in their fields with their overpowered guns. Well, that sounds wrong. Not overpowered, sorry. Modern guns, right? With capabilities much better than what those unexperienced troops are running at them, just firing down at these kids, I think it's absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous that this is the Russian tactics. Russian tactics have always been throw as much as you can at the enemy and try and win. They did in World War II. They took a bunch of soldiers. They took about 21 million soldiers died, or people in the Russians. I think it was 21 million. I'm not sure if that was. Is that the right number? I think it was. How? Died in 27 million, a bit off. 27 million, including that was mostly some of those were of course civilians. Many who were soldiers rushed ahead, and some of them didn't even have fucking guns with them. I'm not even kidding you. Some of them didn't even have guns with them. Some of them were riflemen, and the other one would be given cartridges, usually 5-6 bullets. I'm not sure how much, like 5 bullets in that thing or 6 bullets in that thing, right? Or is that, I can't remember. You were given that, one of them were given a rifle, the other one were given the cartridges, and the two would run together, right? But one person would charge into battle without a gun. They were told that if you die, then, if the person next to you with the rifle die, you just pick up that gun. Right? I mean, I'm not... right? And some of them were rushing with pistols. That's all they had. Pistols against, machine guns and everything. Say what you want about the Germans. They at least had proper equipment. The Russians didn't. And everybody keeps saying, oh, the Russians lost so many men for us. The Russians lost men because Stalin was unwilling to give his men proper equipment. He threw men at a line without equipment. Literally nothing. So, point here being, it's always been the Russian tactic. They did in World War II as well. World War I. Same thing. Throw as many men, unexperienced, underarmed, underfed, everything, hungry, weak, at the lines to try and see if we can win. We have the numbers. Let's just try and see if we can win. Stalin, when he was talking about World War II, right? And he said, the amount of lost life that you guys have lost, are you sad about that? And he said, it's just statistics. He didn't give a fuck about the Russian life. Americans, they fought in the Pacific. They fought in Europe. They fought in the Middle East. They did it actually. In Africa. Fought everywhere. How many soldiers did they lose? 400,000. A lot of soldiers. Yes, that is. But think about the scale of when the Americans were in. They were in a large scale. Because they were proper equipped. The Red Army playbook, exactly. That's exactly what Putin's doing. He's still doing it to this day. The Red Army playbook. And the Americans, when they showed up in Africa, because you had the British troop in Africa, right? Many of the soldiers, the luxuries of having, tents, proper equipment, all that stuff right there. You had toothbrushes, all that. That wasn't really a thing you got in the British Army because the British Army was so overstretched. But then the Americans, they showed up. When they showed up doing the campaign down here in, I'm showing it right here, down here. They had this front line right here where the Americans were going to show up. They were going to show up here in Morocco, push in towards Algeria to try and take, what's this country called again? I forgot. Sometimes I forget things. Don't worry. So they were going to do that. And when the Americans, they showed up, everyone was surprised because the Americans, they came with they came with toothpaste, toothbrushes, fucking blanket. I mean, I can't remember the amount of things they came with. You know, they came with so many household things. And the British were absolutely stunned. They were looking at this. They were saying, what the fuck are you guys? You know, they came with everything. The Americans' troops were so well supplied in so many areas, you know, in hygiene areas and everything, that people were astonished how the Americans went to war. Because they, you know, when you think about it, during World War One, World War Two, and especially in the start of World War Two, they were still a very unexperienced army. Hadn't really fought a lot of battles throughout the entirety of its existence. Well, you know, at least this large scale. So they just thought, well, what do you give this amount of soldiers? So they just put millions of fucking dollars into hygiene equipment and, you know, something in nowadays standard. Obviously, that's what you're required to do. But back then, showing up with your toothbrush, you know, in a battle, or showing up with what, mouthwash and Coca-Cola and, you know, sweets and candy and, you know, I mean, everything. It was like the British soldiers were looking at them and they were like, what the fuck is this? You know, and the Americans, they, you know, it was a whole story about how they came in. They expected the French to sort of accept them. That didn't happen. Blah blah blah. Whatever. Point being, the Americans didn't lose millions because they were proper equipped. Red Army didn't fucking show up with toothbrushes. You know, you'd be lucky to find a fucking twig in the fucking ground to brush your teeth, to try to get some of that, you know, fucking smoke off your, I don't know, but, you know, you'd be lucky if you find something to sort of even kind of brush your teeth a little bit, you know, if you didn't fall out, you know, or anything like that. You'd be lucky if you're served anything else than fucking potatoes, because usually the Red Army, all they were served was fucking potatoes. It's still today. What are the Russians doing today? They're given bread that was old. They're given old bread. They're given most of what they're eating is soup, you know, carrots, potatoes. Now, granted, eating that in the battle, it's not a bad diet. It's just a factor that when you're fighting a battle, you need a lot of protein because you're constantly moving. Now the Ukrainians started giving the ration packs, which is, believe it or not, guys, the ration packs. Who do you think invented the ration packs with, you know, these 8,000 calories and, you know, this massive amount? Who do you think invented that? You did. The Americans. The Americans invented the ration packs. They were the ones who invented proper hygiene, having a shower, having everything. You know, you know? So, point being, guys, the ration pack was an American invention. Now, the Ukrainians, they're running around with ration packs. They have enough food. They have enough. They're able to fight because they have energy. The Russians, they're running around. They're eating potato soup, some carrots inside of it, you know, made in an old tin can. It's point blank being saying, guys, the Americans, you know, they fought in World War II. The reason why they lost the numbers because they're proper equipped. What's happening today is the exact same thing. The Russians are losing so many soldiers because why? They're so unequipped. The Ukrainian soldiers, proper fed, proper equipped, they have proper hygiene as well. You know, I've seen toothbrushes. I've seen everything go to them. So, sorry I've went off track here. I'm going to get back on track here. Sorry about that, guys. I just want to point it out here why, you know, this is happening. I don't remember why I went that so far, but, you know, I am called boring history, so, you know, you get your history lessons. The American howitzer M777 got tired of hitting the occupiers in such an intensive mode and asked for a little rest right here. So, have you guys ever heard about artillery pieces saying, I'm done for the day? Well, the Ukrainians apparently figured out a way to tire out American metal right here. It's not exactly what you want to see an artillery piece doing, but I think it might have been malfunctioning or not. It was certainly tired because I think the whole barrel right there, important track. I think it was quite important. You get a sound of it as well. I think the barrel inside was so hot, probably because they were firing off so many rounds. I mean, that is, you know, and that's all going to the commies. And they're all gonna say hello to the commies. Pose additional threat. Great mistake. Blah blah blah. Putin. So Putin continues to call the Atacms transfer to Ukraine mistakes amidst missile post additional threat. Russian President Vladimir Putin said on October 18th that the U.S. made a great mistake by providing Ukraine with Atacms long-range missiles, which have reportedly dealt with significant damage to Russian forces in a recent attack. Good night, Desire. Have a good night. See you another time there. Speaker at a Russian press conference by Beijing, Putin admitted the newly provided was additional threat. Blah blah blah. Sorry, I'm gonna repeat some things right here. However, the Kremlin leader voiced confidence that the Russian military would be able to repel the Atacms strikes, and that the long-range missiles were fundamentally incapable of changing the situation at the front line. That was given to you by the Kyiv Independent. Great news source. They also give you the latest updates. Kyiv Independent on Twitter. Go check them out. So Putin continues to say, Atacms, they're not going to change anything on the front lines. I tell you why. I tell you why. They're simply not going to be able to. That's my bottom line. But why, Putin? Well, they're just not. They're just not. Okay, they're just not. It's his only point is that they're not going to be able to. He doesn't point out why. He said that they're going to be able to repel it. He doesn't point out what they're going to be able to repel it with. He doesn't say, "Oh, we have this system that can repel the blah blah blah." No, he doesn't have that. He doesn't say that because he doesn't have that. I mean, he may have systems that can do it, but is he going to be able to put systems in every single major airfield so that he can protect that airfield? I doubt it. Anyways, let's get the latest defense intelligence update on the situation in Ukraine, October 18th, given to you by the British Defense Intelligence. There has been a significant increase in Russian offensive activity in the Kupiansk-Liman axis in the last 2 weeks. Russian shelling has intensified, and the element of the Russian 6th and 25th Combined Arms Army, CAA, and the 1st Guard Tanks Army has conducted attacks, but with limited successes. What the limited success stands for is that the Russians have managed to lose, I think, close to 200 tanks and taken a ground area of about, in total, probably somewhere between 1 kilometer to 3 kilometers. 1 to 3 kilometers. Yeah. The Russians, I can repeat it again here, the Russians have thrown probably close to 200 tanks, 300 artillery systems, or has been destroyed throughout that as well, multiple choppers and aircraft, multiple troops, close to, I think, throughout the last 2 weeks, we're probably nearing, at this point, close to 10,000 soldiers. I'm not kidding you. We're nearing 10,000 soldiers throughout the last 2 weeks have been thrown at that front to be able to take a few kilometers that the Ukrainians are very, very likely going to take back again. So that's the situation on the ground in Ukraine. It is highly likely that this activity is part of an ongoing Russian offensive being conducted on multiple axes in eastern Ukraine. The objective of the Russian ground forces on the Kupiansk limits is probably to advance west to Oskil River to create a buffer zone around the Luhansk Oblast. RGF has built, Russian ground forces, have built up combat capacity in the Kupiansk-Liman direction in recent months. However, Ukraine forces retain a significant defensive presence on the axis, and it's highly unlikely Russian ground forces will achieve a major operational breakthrough. That's directly from British intelligence right there, have told you that it's unlikely that the Russians will be able to obtain breakthroughs. So they've spent 10,000 soldiers, 200 tanks, rounds, bullets, everything, rockets, everything, for what is counting to pretty much nothing in military terms. When you think about the grand scope of military terms, yes, they've made advancements, but when you think about achievements and, you know, the overall achievement of such a large ground offensive, where you'd expect the enemy to take some kind of land or some kind of area that would increase their chances of winning, when you think about that, the Russians have effectively achieved nothing. In war terms, in military terms, nothing. On the ground, few, like very few kilometers, if any kilometers. Military terms, again, nothing. Absolutely nothing. We have air raids going off here back in Ukraine. Sorry, yes, that's Ukraine. I was about to say sorry, but no, it's Ukraine. Even the most serious soldiers have their soft sides, and when your daughter's hands reach, and when your daughter hands you skincare products, it's time to give them a try. I'll show you off right here to just give you a break from the tiredness of war here. We have a Ukrainian soldiers that was given that Ukrainians suck so bad. They really do, Richard. They really do. But we have a Ukrainian soldier here that was given skincare product from her daughter. From his daughter, not her. He decided to try it on. Check it out. My daughter sent me this. So her daughter literally sent her. Hey, you gotta take care of your skin, you know? Even in war. Even in war, you gotta take care of your skin. Can I just give you a moment here to appreciate this, but also you take a look around the conditions that they're in. Now you may look and think, oh, they're in a hole, but when you think about the conditions in general, you look at his clothes, you look at his face, you look at his I mean, pretty much everything about him. He's not dirty, he's clean. You know why? Because he has proper facilities to be able to clean himself and maintain hygiene so you don't get sick. And if you get a cut while not having proper equipment to be able to, you know, get yourself clean, then you're gonna die of a simple infection. We've seen videos of, on the Russian side, people that have gotten simple cuts, right? Cuts from, or shrapnel, or running around in the woods, you know, or cuts from, I don't know, twigs, like the normal everyday cuts, right? And because they haven't had the proper facilities to be able to wash it, bandage it, they've actually, there's videos that have surfaced. I can't show you the video, obviously, but the videos are showing maggots, you know, the things that eat flesh, you know, dead flesh, inside of the leg of a Russian. Inside of it. Yeah. That's no joke. Literally inside of it. It's fucking disgusting. And that's not gonna happen on the Ukrainian front, I'll tell you that, because they've got proper fucking shit. Russia UN Ambassador Vasily Nebenzia. We have just been witnessing once again of hypo crisis and the double standards for our American colleagues. So the Russian ambassador in the UN Council there says that, according to this is a statement from his I think either it was Israel or something, but he said we're just witnessing once again a hypo crisis and the double standards of American colleagues. I think he was talking about the Atacms there. However, I don't really give a fuck about him talking to the UN, because, you know, what does it matter? Nothing. Russian losses as of October 18. I've shown you this before, but we'll just go over it formally here. 620 troops, 15 APV, 10 vehicles and fuel tanks, 2 tanks, 8 artillery system, 10 UAVs, 1 plane, 6 helicopters, 1 cruise missile, and yeah, that's about it. Now, I want to point something out to you. Throughout the last few weeks, we've seen some days where the Russians will lose less tanks. Usually, in a day where they lose less tanks, something big happens the next day, because they will draw the tanks back in an area where they'll be able to keep the tanks safe, and then they'll drive them forward eventually to be able to take part in a ground offensive. So because there has been minimal losses of the tanks, we believe, and I, having watched them for the last 2 weeks, there could be a ground offensive again happening very soon. Can I just take a second here? And what is this? Is this U.S. Doomsday plane in the Atlantic right now doing some weird stuff right there? I think it was trying to get down. I think it did loops so it could get down and level. That's kind of weird. Anyways, probably all right. What we got over here? Oh, that's Air Force One. Yeah, we got Air Force One, guys. That makes sense. That would make sense when we got a Doomsday plane right there. All right, Air Force One, guys. Let's track it. Landed in Germany, took off from Germany, it appears again. So yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that tomorrow. The armed forces of Ukraine are indeed operating north of the settlement of Pyenskvika on the left bank of the Dnipro River. I think this was confirmed. We know it's happening. However, there has been released a video. Here's the video. Now, I don't know I think, so I was talking about a bridge being blown. God damn it, dude. Yeah, so as you can see right there, so they're supposedly there. That's the area we took a look at earlier. Now, that bridge right there, so I was talking about that earlier, right? That I thought one of those two bridges was blown, and I think the bridge that was across that area, oh, sorry, I just closed that up, didn't mean to close that, but the bridge the bridge we looked at, right, has actually been blown up. Look at it. Yeah. And we aren't aware as to the situation of who blew it up. I actually don't know if the Russians blew it up or if the Ukrainians did. If the Ukrainians did while being across it, I'm not aware why they would do that. But, I mean, it could be a platoon bridge or some kind of temporarily built. Oh, there you go again. That's a secondary explosion right there. Think it's Russians? I mean, the only person I'd think to do something like that would probably be the Russians when you think about it. They're firing at that bridge right there. Is that a railroad? Oh, it's a fucking railroad. Oh, so it's got to be the Ukrainians. No, it's a fucking railroad. Look at it. It has to be. Yeah, because it's so thin. It has to be a railroad. So this is a railroad right here. Yeah, it has to be a railroad because look at the thinness of it. So it has to be the Ukrainians operating and took out a railroad passage into the Dnipro area in Kherson. Sorry I didn't understand the video there. Oh, look at that. Yeah, it has to be because you can't walk across there. I mean, you can, but I mean, that looks very much like when you look at the thickness of it, very small. Yeah. So the Ukrainians taking out a railroad, which probably is, very vital for the Russian supplyment. Again here, guys, you won't believe just how amazing the Ukrainians are. Railroad taken out in the Kherson region just near the area, and where they've actually made landings, I believe, or at least in the closest area around it, or at least closer in the area. Or maybe they got troops in the area as well. I don't know, actually, I got the pretext for this video right here, but anyways, pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff. A large set of 155mm artillery shell delivered from different countries used by Ukrainian artillerymen. Here we have a video showing artilleries stored from Ukraine. If I could show you this. Sorry. That's how it looks like. Check it out. How many artillery shells they got? Oh, that's gonna put some lead on the Russians right there. Oh, that's gonna hurt. Oh, that one's gonna hurt. That one's, oh, that one's gonna really hurt. You see that thing? Yeah, I got a feeling it's gonna hurt. It's gotta hurt. It's gotta hurt. You see those big boys back there? It's gotta hurt. Is that cluster? Is that cluster? No. Is it? I don't know. Obviously they're not. They got that thing on the top off, but yeah. It's gotta hurt when you think about it. It's gotta hurt. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. Explosions in occupied Sevastopol occurred in the area of Sukhayaniyarata, whatever. Shukhanaya Bolka. Yeah, oh yeah. Where Russian military equipment warehouses are located, according to the interactive map of the military facilities created by the journalist from Krim, really? Sorry, trying to pronounce his name correctly. In the area of the village, there are at least 4 warehouses with weapons from the Russian army. Missile weapons are also stored there. So missiles, yeah. So we've got multiple videos here. Now this came out today, so this is supposedly also the work of Atacms. You can see that, of course, there's smoke there. Now, they were talking about this being the works of Atacms, taking out Russian deep within Russian territory. Well, maybe not deep within, but at least within Russian territory. Is it within? Sevastopol, that's Russia, right? Oh, I'm so stupid. I don't know, sometimes, it's not that I don't know these areas, I just don't like individual cities and all that. Remembering that, I mean, Sevastopol is Russia, right? Yeah, it is. I know it is. But, yeah. So, different pictures from it there. Another picture from there. So, equipment warehouses are located. It's believed, I really don't have any pictures from the area, but it is very much believed that they could have successfully striked those areas. So when you think about it, just think for a second just how amazing the Ukrainians are. Well, think about it. Because who does that? The Ukraine does. Ukraine does. Oh, it's in Crimea. I'm stupid. I don't know. Okay, some things I don't know. I try my best, don't worry. I try my best. I'm like, yeah, sorry. Probably gonna be right. What do you think is that area right there, right? So, Shukayanya, yeah, could be that one, could be that area. Here it is. So, here it is. Shak or Shuk or Shak. Well, it has to be that one. Has to be in the area at least. I very much think that's very likely to be the work of artillery. Yeah, it's Sevastopol, Crimea, right? Yeah. Sorry. You might think I'm very stupid now. But yeah, it's very likely to be work of Atacms. I mean, they said it were, so who am I to discount it? I can't prove directly, but hey, out of that journey, this. What else would it be? What else? God, I hope it is. I really hope. Russian footage showing Ukrainian presence on the outskirts of Pishkiva, geolocated cyber Shuno, seems like at some point they did manage to reach the outskirts. Unclear if they managed to grab a foothold or even if they had the intention to stay there. But they did have the intention to stay there. Oh, look at this, guys, right here. Kyiv region just turned on. Kyiv just turned on. This could be something special right here. Not sure if it's really or not. I mean, but these are for sources from within Russia, or for probably military organization within Kherson itself, showing Ukrainian personnel moving within the outskirts of Poima and Kinishkiva. Yeah. Now I want you to note one thing. Look at this guy right here. He's running it with a bag, right? What's located right there? That guy, they're hiding in a fucking bush, right? But that guy's running with a fucking bag of something. Well, he's running with a fucking rifle as well. The other guy, he's standing over there. Look at what he's looking at. Look at what he's going over to look at. He's definitely looking at that. Oh yeah. Are you guys thinking the same thing I'm thinking? Some Ukrainian saboteur movement? Yeah. Within Russian occupied areas? On Kherson taking out railroads? Yes. Because why not? Because the Ukrainians won't need it. They're not gonna use it for shit. So they might as well blow it up. So if they get pushed back, which they, in any case, if they get pushed back, I'm just saying, look out for these railroads and look out for stories on Twitter and all that stuff. There could be a lot of videos coming out, right, in some time, maybe showing off some of these railroads attack. We've seen one already, so, keep an eye on it. Russia's global weapon hunger. So there was a video given to me by United 24. You know Mark Strong. Mark Strong, who's an actor, he's actually just become, I think, the hit of the United 24. He was actually on a meeting with Zelensky. I think I showed it. But let's watch this for a second here.
Russia continues its terror of Ukrainian grain and port infrastructure. Ukraine is known as the breadbasket of Europe and is among the top 3 grain exporters in the world. Russia wants to destroy everything and potentially provoke a global hunger. Since July 2023 alone, Russia has destroyed 300,000 tons of Ukrainian grain. There were 17 massive attacks with missiles and kamikaze drones. Ukraine needs modern air defense systems to protect its skies from Russian terror.
One of these systems, now unfortunately, of course, the Israelis have just gotten into a war. I mean, one of these systems that we were hoping to take a look at was definitely the those Iron Dome systems, because if there's any system that we know works, the Iron Dome of Kyiv, exactly. I was thinking about the same thing there. If there's any system that we know works with a 90% or close to 100, very close, it's the fucking Iron Dome system. We know it fucking works. I mean, let's not, don't get me wrong. I think it fucking works. It's gotta work. Because it's just amazing. Just thinking about the same thing there. Yeah, I want the Iron Dome system in Ukraine. However, I don't think that's going to happen right now. There's another system to take a look at, and I think it was South Korean. And don't get me wrong, the Patriot system, which by the way is already in Ukraine, is a top tier air defense systems, South Korea. Yes. Yeah, so the KM Sam. This one right here. So there's the KM. So they have this system in South Korea, which they have talked about, been quite successful. largest army export deal with the EAU for missiles interceptors. Yeah, but are they in Ukraine? I mean, I might be. Am I dumb right now? I mean, I feel like I'm dumb right now. Am I? My brain just not working right now. But sorry. But they have talked about this system right here, this South Korean system being quite the functionality. I mean, they're having quite the functionality and being quite a well put system. They have talked about that. I think Germany has some systems as well. I'm not aware. I think the only system that I mean, Patriot system is already in Ukraine, works like a charm. I mean, it's not, you know, I'm not discounting that, because obviously it does work like a charm, right? I mean, the air defense systems in Ukraine is amazing, but yeah, we could wish for more. Looking to other sources. I mean, South Korea has some good systems as well. Japan, I think I've heard something about that as well. I'm not aware, but we'll have to look into the future for that. See, I can't right now because I'm not psychic and I don't look into the future. But if I could, I would tell you. You know, it's just me. Lots of drone building today. So there's this guy called Joe Dubek, who builds drones here in Ukraine. He's currently in Kyiv. This is a recent video he posted of drones being manufactured in Kyiv at a mass rate. I mean, look at that. And every single one of those right there could be used to take out a Russian tank. You know, it's crazy to think about. When you think about it, that right there takes out, you know, this little thing right there takes out systems worth millions. I'm just saying. You know, like, they're worth $400, if not less. You know, it's amazing. The Ukraine armed forces shut down the 4th Russian Su-25 aircraft in the last week. Ukraine breaks up Russian attacks southwest of Robotyne. Ukraine air defense down a Russian Su-25 strike aircraft south of Novopokrovka. Ukraine reports that Russia is sustaining heavy losses in manned material in the Orviki salient. Now, I've already talked about this earlier. Again, I'm not going to repeat what I said because I think that would be a waste of time. But as you know, and as we've been talking a lot about, you know... Oh, wait. Is this better? Guess what? How did I not know about that? It's... Are we... Wait. Do you guys like this? Does it go away if I do like this? Oh, it doesn't. What? That's kind of... It's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Oh, that's kind of cool. I mean, I guess... No, I mean, there's not as much as I want to do it. I kind of like having this because it's... You know, it's got information on it as well. We'll keep it like this. Sorry, I just got sidetracked right there. But yeah, I've talked about that earlier. Military terms, no advances with the Russians when you think about it. Okay. Ukraine FPV drone destroys Russian 2S3 Aktsia SAU in the Vorleta direction. I'm getting better at pronouncing this, guys. One day I'll get it right. One day. We'll all get it right. So check this out. Pretty cool video here. So, of course, if you were a little tired of me talking, let's get down to business and let's watch some Russian tanks, Russian equipment, Russian everything get destroyed. So I can't play the music, but the watching is the great part. What's that right there? Oh, it's that a Russian artillery system? Yeah. Are we gonna destroy it? Yeah, we are. Oh my god. There we go. It's called getting destroyed. Yeah, and it's on fire. You can see it. That's where it was. That's what it was. it's just amazing. A little bit more destruction right there. Yeah, just love it. We just love it. We love it. A little bit more. Just taking a look at the aftermath. Yeah, completely gone. Completely gone. Yeah, a drone worth $400, maybe less, just took out a Russian equipment worth millions. Love it. Ukraine education minister to include drone operation courses in school curriculum. The course will involve lessons on variety of different aspects relating to drone operation. Army Inform reported, citing the Education and Science Ministry. Now, I want to take a minute to talk about that. I know you guys don't want to hear me talk about it, but maybe we'll talk about it. I think it's okay to educate children that in a war about war. However, I think educating, I mean, it depends on where, I think so long. I don't even think it's shogi at this point, Freddy. I think it doesn't matter who's in charge. Maybe it does. I don't know. I mean, does it? Because at this point, I don't even know if they could get a different guy in charge and change anything. But we'll have to, maybe one day. Well, no, we don't know. I think it depends on what classes we're talking about. But if they say like any classroom or any school system and anybody in any school needs to teach the children about operating drones and standard military equipment, I think it's I know you're gonna hate me for saying this, but I don't think it's something that they should be doing. I get teaching children about the war. I get teaching them about the current situation, so they understand the situation better. Don't get me wrong, I think that's great. Teaching children about what the current situation in your country is a great thing, because then you have children that understand the situation. But teaching them about the operations of a drone, I mean, I think it's far-fetched. I don't see the reason why, if they're going to operate drones that are going to take out Russians. That seems very... so I hope it's in the later classes where you're talking about, like, 18-year-olds, 17-year-olds, just about to turn 18-year-old, stuff like that. If that's what they're doing, fine with me. Because, I mean, teaching them about that, I just don't think teaching children about operating drones that are used to take out tanks and stuff like that and take out, soldiers are a thing that you should be teaching children, but fair be with it. My Zaporizhia after an overnight visit by Russian culture. There's been a video that came out. Here is the video, and we've got a extended video a little bit later. We'll get that. But yeah, it's happening in Zaporizhia overnight. The Ukrainians took their new found equipment. They live in different world than us. It's true, Vaughn. It's true. But the Ukrainians took their HIMARS with their new Atacms missiles, fired them, and took out 8 helicopters or 6 helicopters, however many it was. Multiple amount of special equipment and air defense systems, took out warehouses. Meanwhile, the Russians responded with striking a residential building and blowing a hole directly into it. Oh, sorry, you're not able to see that. My bad. Sorry. There we go. We'll watch. So, again, what I just sent you before here. Ukrainians used their things for a great purpose to take out strategic military targets that's going to shorten the war. The Russians decided to use their missiles that are striking a residential building head on. Yeah, right? No, fuck off. That is really, that is, why? There's no reason to. Absolutely no reason to. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Sorry. The Interior Minister of Ukraine published a video moments ago for the Russian... Oh yeah, I've got this... Oh yeah, that's the extended version right here. I've got the extended version. I think even one of the people talking about it. We also got the clip of when it happened. It's from Flash, so it's pretty trustable. There it comes in the missile there, and you can hear, you can kind of see it come in, and then, yeah, there you go. Hits the ground there. But this is the aftermath here. Alright, did I switch? Oh, switch. Oh, yeah, sorry, the audio is a bit lopsided, but you have to do. I have to knock so goddamn hard. So this is the lady living in that house there. They got, you know, completely mangled. I mean, I think the house survived somewhat, but I mean, it's an old lady. And that's the what? That's the Russian military target for you right there? That's a Russian military target right there, because that old lady, you know, she was probably going to go to the Russian battlefields and take a lot of Russians on. What? You know, I mean, what military target does she present? Does she represent, you know, the old generation of Ukraine? Or what? Something like that, you know? Absolutely ridiculous. The UK continues to support Ukraine with a wide range of training from defense Ukraine. The UK support package includes specialist training to maintain vital equipment, the M270 multi-launch rocket systems, ensuring the battle-winning MLRS stays in the fight. So, the UK releasing videos after videos. The UK, if anybody's going to continue to stand behind the UK, it appears that everybody, pretty much everybody in the UK, at least every leader, I mean, the defense minister, the Rishi Sunak, the prime minister, and everybody, Congress, the House, the Parliament, not the Congress, sorry, there's nothing, the Parliament, appears to be very much behind continued support for Ukraine. So we believe that the United Kingdom is going to stand behind Ukraine to the end, and I'm very pleased to report that. And it's putting my knowledge together from all different kind of videos that I've seen, heard, and responses that I've heard from the leadership of UK, and I believe that very much. The occupiers lost at least 63 units of military equipment near the Horvika village in the Andivika direction, as recorded by Deep State, with reference to satellite images. According to their data, the number of dead occupiers is measured in the hundreds, and that's because we knew that. I think this was recorded back in the times of when they lost 1,000 men a day. They today lost 600. I mean, it's hundreds of soldiers every day. Many of them young men. You know, very ridiculous. The Ukraine forces repelled 12 Russian attacks on Kivika and Ivanica and Kushlikova. Russia losses include 5 tanks and 8 fighter infantry vehicles. It's so to report is something we talked about before. Yes, have the Russian lost a shit ton of fucking things? Oh, explosions in Kiev. Sorry about that. I don't know why it's not showing up on mine. Do I have something? Why can't I get it? What I got? Oh wait, one second. I think I've got some wrong. I gotta get some settings on. Yeah. For it. Alert duration. Here we go. Okay, that's much better. That's much better. Sorry about that. All right, now we've got it. Okay, so we can even have it. We have an updated version now. Oh my god. Wow, look at that. We've actually got an updated version, and the updated version that we've got, we can actually see that it was a threat of kamikaze drone attack in the Kyiv region. Took place just here 13 seconds ago. The air raid came on. Or 13 minutes ago, not seconds. But yeah, suppose there's some kind of drone attack in the Kyiv region. Supersonic? I don't know. Have to look into it. If you read anything, please share it. We can talk about it. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies of the Ukrainian Armed Forces. Oh, I've got this really cool video here. I remember this video right here. I love the Ukrainian folk songs, the sort of spirit that they have in these songs right here. Listen to this. This one's quite funny though too. Yeah. I think it's an all-female crew as well. It's an all-female crew. Look at that. Go off to kill some goddamn commies. Close combat with enemy. They write, as a result of the battle, 2 occupiers were destroyed. Unfortunately, the Ukrainian defenders were also injured. Oh, I haven't got that video there because I couldn't show it. Oh, wait a minute. Was it? Abrams have joined. Oh, sorry. Abrams have joined the party. All of the Abrams have joined the party, and don't worry, guys. I'm getting to it. I'm getting to it. Don't worry. It'll keep you on your toes, but we're getting to it. Don't worry. I know you want to hear about it. I know you want to hear about it. We're gonna get to it. Recently, this tank was destroyed by the armed forces of Ukraine near Andivika. The Russian claimed successes and further advances despite their losses. Today, an Ukrainian soldier calmly poses on the destroyed tank. What a beautiful day. So, the Russians claimed that in this area they had made widespread advances. Here's the video of the Russian tanks completely destroyed, right? Getting destroyed, or, you know, very much so. Is destroyed. I mean, it's a burning rebel at that point, you know. Look at that. That's destroyed. Looks like very destroyed. That's destroyed, definitely. I mean, there's something wrong with it, you know. And then next picture is the Ukrainian soldiers sitting on the tank that was destroyed. That looks like it. That was a T-90 right there. T-72 maybe. T-90? Probably. So look at that. He's sitting right there in the tank. Yeah. Hello. Why did I say that? That was weird. Mykolaiv, they've got a threat of... it's in Ukrainian. Sorry about that. Okay, so they don't report it. Alright. Ukraine's turning red here, guys. I fear... Okay, so that's caliber, that's cruise missiles, maybe something. Could this be the supersonic missiles that have been talked about? I don't know. We're seeing multiple threat levels from missiles, aviation objects, it appears, kamikaze drones, at least in Kyiv there. Multiple areas. Polotov appears to maybe be the target. There's multiple threats coming from that area. Let's keep an eye on it for now. While Putin is in China, Lavrov has arrived in North Korea while telling visits and partnerships. What? Okay, well, sorry about that. That was me not reading it right. He said that it was very telling that it's a partnership. So here you have it. This is a video of Lavrov. Well, you're not able to see Lavrov. Quality's not that great. Not really any reason to have to. But he is in there. And Lavrov is in North Korea. And the reason why, you can especially see the welcome he got from all those people with their little floppy things right there. I think you can kind of see him, maybe. Maybe you get like a little view of him. I think he's in there somewhere. He's in there somewhere. Yeah. But that was Lavrov in North Korea. Lavrov, I repeat, is in North El Carino. Oh, God. There we go. Is it lagging? Oh, no. Come on. There you go. Am I stream buffering? Telling that it's a partnership. So have it. This is a video of Lavrov. Wait, you're not able to see Lavrov. Quality's not that great. But you can kind of see him, maybe. You get like a little view of it. Yeah, I'll be honest with you guys. My stream, I mean, I don't know why. For some reason, right now, Twitter is requiring all of your every fucking thing to run a simple fucking video nowadays. It's fucking ridiculous. I have never had these problems before. Literally never. And all of a sudden, I'm starting to have these problems. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. Foreigners who desecrate Ukrainian flag in Lithuania turned out to be Hungarians. Now, there has been reports about that, and I want to show you. I showed it to you yesterday. Orban, the Hungarian new prime minister, has just visited Putin in China, and they were actually talking together, showing each other friendship. And he even stated in a statement, I said this yesterday, that they should kick him out, but apparently they still are a little bit on the fence about that. Don't know how you could be on the fence about kicking someone out who's literally a fucking traitor. I mean, he's the definition of what a traitor is. Let's not get it wrong. Yeah. He's the definition of what a traitor is. That's what he is. He's a definition of what a traitor is. And I don't really give a fuck about what everybody else says. He is a fucking traitor. Okay. Bavanovna, Mariupol, Sevastopol, White House official confirmed the provision of Atacms to Ukraine. The transfer of modification has a range of 165 kilometers. Biden wants to ask Congress for... No, I don't want you to tell my location. Oh my god. I mean... No, I don't know nowadays. I don't know. So Biden wants to ask Congress for $100 billion to Ukraine and Israel. So it's not we are not aware just how they're gonna be able to pop that down the middle. We're not aware how they're gonna be able to pop that down the middle. If their plan is to cut it down the middle with, you know, like 50-50. Sorry, I heard somebody talk in the background there. I feel like I heard some Ukrainians talk in the background here. Yeah. So, Ukraine military works on Russian UAV from a British Manpat Starstreak. Ooh. Yeah, I don't know if you're gonna even be able to see much videos coming out now because we're getting frame skip. I'm not even. I mean, it's not even like. Like, why is it fucking happening? They've changed the fucking things. They've done something. They've done something to fucking ruin it. Because they've done something to fucking ruin it. Because it's not me. How can it be me? I've done the streams millions of times before and never lagged. Check it out. Yeah, I don't know if you're gonna even be able to see much videos coming out now. There you go. Boom. You saw that? Boom. Yeah, he's pointing at it. They're saying there it is, and then bada boom, shuts it down. Ukrainian moves on Russian UAV. So that's how to deal with the British manpads. Of course, British as well has provided these systems here to Ukraine with the hopes of there you go. You saw that? No, you didn't see that. It didn't even fucking register. It's... Okay. I don't know what else. I mean... We do this radiation live map. We do this one instead. Is that better for you? Because you don't want to track the endless. This one. This is how the OG. This is how we actually. This is how we used to do it. This is how we used to do it. You weren't able to see that last video there because it's skipping frames like fucking crazy. I can't get one video without it saying, "Oh, we can't show this. It's not. We can't do it. It's not our fault." Ah. God damn it, dude. Oh, okay. It's fine. We'll have to figure it out. We'll just have to, yeah. There was... Okay. What does the U.S. aid to Ukraine look like? It's patient. Northeast of Kupiansk, a Russian BM-21M alert conducts a fire mission and then returns to base only to have GMLRs to find it destroyed. And it's usually its buddies right here. Look at this. You're probably not gonna be able to see much because the video won't even fucking load. Here you have it. So they show that thing firing off, right? You show the thing firing off, and then they show it them tracking it all the way back to the base. That's the ammunition. So they found the ammunition laying in the fucking forest for you. No. It's not even, it's, you know. Is it skipping a lot of frames right now? You guys, when you guys are watching this right now, is it skipping a lot of frames? Are you able to even remotely see what's happening? What's that? 2. Are you guys able to remotely see what's happening? Because I don't think you are. Modern Warfare. We'll be. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna be right back.